But I think that will definitely change now with the increase in, obviously, the fees and stuff, because most people won't be able to afford to come to uni, so it'll be much more of a tactical decision now, I'd say, rather than just a next step.
Do you think that could be a good thing, in that to make students think more about why they come to university?
I think so, but at the end of the day, it's not really, like, if they can't afford it, they can't afford it.
Yeah.
Like, they may really want to come, but they're just not, like, they're not given the opportunity. So
I think it has positives and negatives.
Yeah, like, it will definitely, it'll be good, because like, there are obviously people that just come to uni because they don't know what else to do, and they, you know, their families, and they can afford it, so they just do it. But yeah, so it's good, because I think more people come to uni that actually want to do it, and, like, it will be more worthwhile. But then I do think it's unfair on people that actually can't afford it.
But I do agree that it will make people think more, because I think if I had to pay like £9 a year, I wouldn't have come.
University seems to be sort of an expectation that people go to university. Do you think that's the case? Do you think most students just sort of assume that they have to go to university?
Last year definitely, but with the tuition fees, I think more people are kind of thinking, is it really necessary you can get apprenticeships or just go straight into a job and work our way up with the experience? But last year was definitely kind of just a progression thing, or just for a laugh really, for the experience.
I think with the higher fees, there's obviously going to be more demand for like what am I going to get kind of thing. So I think before it was just like people just went, it was kind of a path, and the uni did kind of use you as a business. But I think times may be changing with higher fees.
Could that be a good thing if it's forcing students to sort of think more about why they're going to university?
I think so, yeah. Like the lesser courses, I suppose. I don't know, to disregard them entirely, but I think they'll struggle now because people are actually serious about more difficult subjects, and like history, you've got to be quite keen on it. Whereas people doing like drama, perhaps you're better off just going to the West End or try and get some experience there, or theatre or something like that.
Yeah, I'd agree completely. I think it's good in a sense that it's going to make people who come out of university really want to do it. They're more driven towards it. But at the same time, it's still kind of hard for people who've always wanted to go and now realised it's not financially viable, really.
Do you think fees could, if it forces people to think more about why they're going to university, do you think that could be a good thing, in that people who waste 3 years just?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think some people who are maybe doing like I don't want to say a DOS degree, but maybe something that's not actually relevant or valuable, I think maybe they should do other things rather than just getting a degree for the sake of it. I think that is a positive thing, but it is very expensive. I mean, that £9,000 fees.
Yeah, I think the cost of fees now, it puts you off doing something just for the sake of it, rather than. So yeah, there are some things that you can go into you don't really need a degree for.
Whereas if you were going to go last year, I think a lot of people just thought you were just going to go, so you kind of got you set, like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Whereas now, if you hadn't started your A-levels before, you might think, oh, instead of going to like sixth form or whatever, I'm going to do something else, like get an apprenticeship. Or
if I was going to uni now, I'd be more tempted to do like medicine or something, where you knew you would get a job at the end of it, rather than just something that you've got to go into training afterwards.
Yeah.
The increase in student fees, do you think that's going to affect people's decisions to come to university?
Yes, because you can't. Because obviously you can't leave, most students will leave having debt anyway. But the fact that it's tripled makes you have to really want to go. And I think it will kind of, people who are just like, oh, I'll go for the sake of it, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I think they'll they'll.
I think for the degrees that are a bit more random, people might think twice about whether they actually
want to go or need to go or to do something else.
Do you think it could be a good thing that students are sort of forced to think about, really, do they want to go to university?
Oh, definitely, because realistically, if they're just going for the sake of it and they don't actually want to go, they're not learning, and then they're getting loans from the government, and then they're just spending it on going out and getting drunk, really. So
definitely not what you do.
No, so I think it'd be better because they will then have to think twice about it, and then, yeah.
Do you think the increase in fees is going to make people think twice about coming to university?
Yeah, I've got friends in the year below who obviously they've just come now, and a couple of them decided against it and kind of dropped out of sixth form and did apprenticeships and things instead. But again, there's a few others that have still come to uni, so I guess it's dependent on circumstances and things. Obviously there's the enjoyment factor and the independence factor and things, but I think ultimately you are at uni to enhance your career prospects, and obviously with the economy the way it is and competition for jobs and things, like even now they're saying degrees aren't enough. Like they're saying you need to go out and get work experience, and you need to do an internship, and you need to potentially get a master's or whatever, which kind of devalues a degree, which is what, you know, if a lot of people are coming, I suppose that's the one good aspect of the financial increase, because obviously that might deter a few people, so then there's less competition and, you know, it's not as easy for everyone to get degrees, you know what I mean? So,
could it be a good thing that it forces people to think about what they really want to do, whether they really want to come to university?
Yeah, I think so, because then it means that a degree will hopefully mean something more in future generations. When we come out of university, it's just going to be that everyone's got a degree and no one cares about that. But maybe the raise in fees will make people think about it more, and then degrees will be valued.
You do have to weigh up whether it's worth that amount of money. I think a lot of people do just go to uni because it's good experience, but in terms of employment prospects, it might not be worth it for that much money, I think.
And what do you think the impact of the rise in fees will be? Do you think it'll make people think harder about coming to university?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I've spoken to as well, it's definitely changed their minds about coming. I mean, I know quite a lot of people that are still gone, but yeah, I think it's definitely something that people are thinking more about.
If I were, yeah, if I were English and I would be having to pay regardless, it would definitely make me consider how important the degree is really going to be, how much I need it, and whether, well, yeah, just think a little bit harder, or a lot harder, about whether or not I really need to do the degree after all. Yeah.
Do you think it could make students think more about why they want to go to university or not if they're forced to pay, you know, the more money?
Yeah, I definitely, especially now as it's harder to get a job, even if you have got a degree. For some people, it's better just to go out and get a job after school, and they can be doing much better than graduates anyway. So, yeah.
Do you think the fact that university is now costing more money will make people think twice about coming to university?
Definitely. I was the last year to escape the race fees, and I wouldn't have come if it was £9,000 a year. Definitely not.
Why not?
Because in my career I don't have to have a degree. I can do it as a school leaver after A-levels. There's schemes to do that, so it's not worth 27 grand over 3 years just for fees alone.
Do you think that could be a good thing then, if it forces people to think about what they would really want to do?
No, I think university should be open to everyone. If they want to make people think about it and improve their chances, then maybe they should make it harder to get into uni rather than charging more.
Now with the costs, people won't do what I did and just come to uni to get a degree. They'll sort of go to what they're more pursuing in for their career, really. Like, I came just to get a degree, and then once I was here, knew what I wanted to do, and then changed to that course. Whether other people now will be either coming to do their course that they're interested in, or go another route into finding a job.
Okay, and what do you think the impact of the cost of education will have on people's decision to go to university or not?
I think that there'll be less people who actually go to university, and there'll be a certain class that ends up going. It'll be the more richer class because they have to pay a higher amount, so the middle class people may choose not to actually go to university and start for a better job. So in turn, it'll end up with more people going for leaving school jobs instead of going for the higher jobs. Or maybe the job market will change, so people leaving school will go for the higher jobs.
But on the other hand, it will mean that the people who are going to uni are there to actually go there and not just for the party life.
And do you think a lot of students are there just for something to do?
Huh? You are?
What?
They're just a part. No, I'm not kidding. He's not.
Oh, joking.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are at the moment, but at the same time, those people who are here, who've just come to party, do realise how serious it is.
I think a lot of people who have left, gone to university now, have just, like, some people have done it because they've come out of the second college education and realised that they're not ready to get a full-time job, so they've gone, and because of all the government benefits that they get from it and the cheaper university that it was, the fees that it was cheaper, then people have just done it just to get a degree, really, and some people end up dropping out. But because the fees have raised, it'll mean less people are actually going to do that, and when they do go, they'll probably put more effort into the degree.
It did make me think about it, but not for too long. I started before the rise in fees, so it wasn't as much of a consideration, but I still decided that it was worth it. So I think I was expected, just because both my parents went to uni, but not necessarily everybody around me was expected to go to uni. But I think now maybe people are questioning it more. It's not necessarily the only path.
I would definitely consider other options now, with it being £9,000 fees.
Probably.
I would definitely look elsewhere rather than just do it for the sake of it.
Unless it's like something that you definitely knew that you wanted to do.